Dude, that timer gets me so jacked up.
It's pretty intense. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, you recognize this could just be a regular conversation. That countdown lets you know that shit's about to go down.
Well, let's get to it then.
Dude, have you ever done something as embarrassing as a Spartan race?
No, I have not. I've not dabbled in any sort of hybrid type race format. The closest thing would be like trail racing, but that's definitely not the same vibe.
So just to give you an embarrassing background, like I consider this actually to be pretty cool, but it's embarrassing at the same time. I used to run professionally in Spartan race, and professional Spartan racing back in the day used to be a really big deal. And ESPN, NBC, CBS, cash prizes upwards of $25,000 for first place at championships. Like it was good. My first ever world championships, I raced against Herman Silva, who is a silver medalist in the Olympic marathon, like, you know, and we went head to head, and like, there's some real runners there. But to get started, they did this Spartan chant, and we had to say Aru, Aru, Aru before we got started. And honestly, like, to try to consider yourself to be a professional and then saying Aru, 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 it just like took the wind right out of the room. It was just like, fuck, this is a joke. And then you're like, all right, fuck it, go.
I did have one college teammate that dabbled in Spartan racing right after he finished at university, and he was Aaron Fletcher.
Dude, that guy was a fucking monster. Like, I mean, when he showed up, he was the 1350 guy, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah, and we called him Alaska because he's from Alaska, and he was just built like an Alaskan, just like short, stocky, mean, tough, loved to grind. It was really strong for a runner, so it was a perfect world for him.
I mean, dude, I don't know if did you ever get the chance to race against David Torrance?
I did not, but I know who that is.
So David Torrance came to our world championships one year. One year, David Torrance and Fletcher were there. And these guys, I'm world class. I am top 3 best athletes in the world at the sport at this point. And these two guys ran past me several times as if they had jet engines on. Like they were just sprinting uphill, and then they get to an obstacle and just totally blow up. But I'm talking about like insanity. David ran uphill as if he had springs in his shoes.
Yeah, those guys were world-class runners. So, well, you know, especially David Torrance. Aaron was a very good collegiate runner, All-American and whatnot. But yeah, he was a little bit more built for the Spartan stuff. But it's funny that you were saying he wasn't that good at the obstacle side. He was just really fast.
Yeah, I mean, that was kind of the sad thing. So like that guy, Herman Silva, I'll never forget. Like we get to the first obstacle and he is out. Like he is out, and he gets to the first obstacle ahead of us. And it was a hay bale that was maybe 6 feet tall. And he tried to get over the hay bale, and it was like a toddler trying to get out of his crib. And I was like, thank fucking God. And then we get to the next hay bale and he struggles, and then he catches up, and then he's leading the way up the mountain. But then eventually an obstacle just basically killed him. And I don't even know if he finished, but that happened to a lot of the guys. And like, I'm very grateful that I was able to run against those guys, but I'm also very grateful that those guys didn't have the skills to destroy me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm trying to think of who might be the best at both worlds here with this.
Max King.
Oh yeah. True. He's strong, and that trail engine. So.
Well, the same year, I think Max King won the mountain running world championships. He and I competed against each other in several races. And there was something called Warrior Dash World Championships where he ran twice against us and scooped up $30,000 each time. And then we did something called, oh, dude, I can't even remember. It was some big cash prize race. It was some goofy name. Max came in and left us like as if, once again, we were in some kind of like jelly that was holding us down, and he was just floating over the top of it. And then all of a sudden we hit the sandbag run, and I won the championship against him. And it was like one of my prouder moments because he just whooped my ass. But that guy, he's got arms and he's got legs.
Yeah. He's kind of built like Aaron Fletcher though. Just got that stockier runner build. That seems to be the theme there. You don't want to be this tall, lanky runner to transition over there.
So dude, I guess I'll just get right into it. Like I've kind of mentioned to people before what you do, but like, if you could just give us the smallest elevator pitch. I'm like, hey man, like, how are you? What do you do? You're like, I'm a runner. I'm like, okay. So like, What are your events? What are your specialties? And give us some information about you so we can get into the weeds.
All right. Yeah. I hate like the self-promotion side of this, but I mean, I run marathons for Puma. That's my primary sponsor, same as you, obviously.
Let's go. Let's
We're
go.
both repping some Puma right
Yeah,
now.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I've competed in the Olympics last summer in Paris for Canada. I'm Canadian. I was born in Calgary, Alberta. I am the second fastest Canadian ever over half marathon and full marathon. I ran my personal best in the marathon this spring in Boston, where I came sixth in 2:07:02. That was a big breakthrough for me. And yeah, I mean, I've been doing marathons now for 6 years. I ran for BYU in college, was a 6-time All-American in cross country / track. And yeah, I've been in the sport now for just over 15 years. I'm in the twilight of my 20s and have 2 young kids, and just love the grind, love the sport, and enjoying every minute of my not the chat Mormon, not Mormon. Just went to BYU, but
this is a quiet group, dude. We usually have so many people because we catch both markets, which is basically the UK, which is a big market for us. But this is 3 p.m., so everyone's sleeping. So you're lucky you've got a quiet crowd because they are viciously mean.
Yeah. Well, I'm keeping eyes on the chat here, but yeah. So went to BYU, met my wife there. We have 2 kids now. She was a gymnast there, and yeah, we're living out in Flagstaff, Arizona. Best place to train for running in the world, I would say, but definitely in North America. Just good weather, good elevation for it, great dirt roads and Forest Service access, and yeah, love it here.
Can I ask you a favor?
Yeah.
If I come out there, will you train with me for a couple days?
Absolutely, man. Yeah, all are welcome with us.
I cannot find anybody to run with me.
Yeah, have you been before?
No, I've passed through. Don't get me wrong, Jeremy. I appreciate you always being in the comments. This is our good friend Jeremy. He went to BYU, but literally, I've run in Boulder. I've run in Park City. Like even Matt Centrowitz was training around the same time I was there, so I would see him in the gym. Like I know almost all of the best runners in the world, but I just almost could never get them to run with me. Not like they're like, fucking get away from me, Hunter, but like it just was never syncing up. And living in LA, dude, I cannot get anybody to run with me. And like, let's just say I went out right now and did a 10K, I'd probably be like a 32-minute guy. But
that's solid. That's definitely good enough for us to at least go on runs together.
The training runs, yeah. I mean, dude, what would you be 10K wise? Like 28?
I ran 27:48 this March.
Not bad. I mean, that's not even really that impressive. Like you're kind of in the same ballpark as me.
Just a few minutes. I'd only lap you, I think, 2 or 3 times.
Whatever, dude. I would let you because you're my friend, fellow Puma guy. I'm like, dude, let him have this one. Tell us about the mullet. Like, how does somebody like? There was that other guy who was pretty famous who ran for Nike who had the mullet. He lives in his van now.
Craig Engels. He's my buddy. He's a good guy. Yeah.
You got to be courageous, strong, vivacious. Like, what gave you got to wear that thing? It's like very powerful. There's you have to have a lot of stability to carry it around. Like, where did that start?
So the mullet thing, I've always just done fun things with my hair. I grew it out. It had like a man bun type thing back in 2020, 2021. I usually will shave my head before like big summer races, just like in the name of cooling off. So this was the first summer in 3 years where I didn't run like a summer marathon. So I was like, okay, I'll grow my hair back out this time. And it's kind of annoying to grow your hair out. So the most fun way to do it is I feel like to like get tapers on the side or like clean up the top occasionally. And eventually it just kind of started to form into a mullet. And I was like, well, I'm just going to rock this. And Boston, I had like the beginnings of a mullet.
The baby mullet.
Yeah. And so now I'm just kind of riding the high, and I haven't decided how long I'll keep it, but I definitely like the energy it brings.
I've got an idea. I've been trying to get somebody to do this with me, or if you have the courage to do it yourself, dude. But I think when you are ready, you have the strength. You have to understand, you have to level up into this. It's like kind of like, you remember Dragon Ball Z, you have to go up different levels. Rat's tail. If you decided to go for a hot race, but you just gutted it and just had this sick rat's tail, maybe with like a feather or some sweet beads, dude, you would slay.
So I wrestled in high school, and we all had
Me
rat's
too,
tails
dude.
and ducktails. Like that's what the thing was to do was to get the rat's tail and then like dye the tip of it like pink so that it had like a little fluff to it and
Dude, a
do all sorts
little
of crazy
rattlesnake,
stuff.
little
Yeah. Yeah. So
dude.
I don't know. I feel like the mullet is already like infringing on any sort of professionalism that I try to keep. But I'm my profession is running. So I kind of like try to thread the needle between athlete and wannabe rock star maybe. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, boys, thanks for joining the chat finally. We usually have so much more of a rambunctious crowd. It's a smaller group today, but they're finally here. So thank you for showing up, boys. No girls allowed. We have a rule. But I think there's also in sports nowadays, there's this somewhat of a WWE element coming into almost all sports because people just recognize that a silent brand doesn't get a lot of attention. And if you like, dude, let's just say I put you in the room. How many guys are 206 marathoners right now?
in North America, there's only two guys with faster personal bests than me that are active marathoners.
But globally.
Oh gosh, like 180.
Okay, but look at you, dude. Like you're a good-looking guy with a mullet and you run a 206, like to a brand. So I was talking to one of my brand managers the other day and I was like, look at this guy. I was like, yo, you got it factor. Because you could just have a shaved head. There's a bunch of other people who are going to be crossing the finish line around the same time as you, but people are looking at you because you got a little bit extra flair, and that matters.
I think so. I like to be a bit of a performer, obviously, and running is full of people that are like very meek by nature and like quiet, reserved, keep to themselves. It's not like there's not a lot of rambunctious, loud runners. There are a few, and I do think having a little bit of personality goes a long way in this sport. And I like to wear my emotion like pretty outwardly. The picture you used to promote this earlier is like me finishing the Boston Marathon, and most people just run through the line and whatever. But I came sixth. I didn't win the race, but I was wearing my emotion on my sleeve. I let out a guttural scream. Gave a couple of these. I like to really, really enjoy and perform when I'm racing. And I did something this last weekend. I raced in Edmonton for the Canadian Half Marathon Championships, and I won by like this much, like by a second over the Canadian record holder. But it was a sprint finish, and as I realized I was going to win, I probably had like 5 meters to think about what I was going to do, and I decided I was going to jump and like push the tape up instead of break the tape. And it like kind of like hit me in the face. It wasn't perfectly executed, but I think like the point being is that I was amped. I shared like that emotion that was going through my body in that moment. And it's fun. It's sports. We play games like people play games for a living, like football, basketball. Running is at its purest just like the weirdest form of athletics where it's like, hey, let's pick an arbitrary distance and see who gets there first. And so at the end of the day, taking yourself a little less seriously and like having some fun with it, I think goes a long way. And that's kind of the mullet and the vibes that I try to put out when I'm competing.
You got the right attitude. Okay, here's an interesting question from Jeremy. Like, what do you think about somebody? Have you heard of Truett Haynes?
Yes, the jeans guy.
Yeah. So he's trying to say he's going to qualify for Olympic trials and stuff like that. Like right now he's a 2:34 marathoner. For somebody like you, and we're going to get way into the weeds on marathon training and what it takes, but like for somebody to go from a 2:34 to what's the qualifying time now, like 2:16 sub to make it to the Olympic trials?
I think it's 2:16 is the new U.S. Olympic trial mark. Yeah. So you got to run, I think that's like 5:15 per mile for 26 miles.
So 18 minutes faster in the lifespan of a runner. Like speaking to your kind of experience and watching other people in your network, what does it take year-wise, training-wise? How much time would it take for somebody to break a 2:16? Like, would they even have the capabilities from a 2:34 to a 2:16 in 2 years for 2028?
It all depends on a few variables. angles. Like I find the biggest limiting factor, because I do a lot of online coaching and I coach a lot of people, and they'll come to me and they'll say, I want to qualify for the US Olympic trials. That is a very common goal. And usually they're in like the 220-ish range to 230 range. And they're like, well, I'm not that far off. And no, you're not that far off. You're definitely a very good runner if you can run a 230 marathon. You're moving. You're probably one of the best runners in your local run club or your town. I think the biggest limiting factor is speed. Like, these guys probably didn't come into the sport the same way the professionals did. Like, I ran high school cross country, high school track, college cross country, college track. I worked on my speed,
1500, all sorts of shit.
All my youth, right? Like, I've broken 4 in the mile. And that is a kind of like I find your top end speed is kind of like your ceiling and your floor in the sport. So
what are you running? 445, 455s?
My time in Boston was 451 per mile.
Yeah, like that's insane.
So the question for Truett is like, how far over his threshold right now is 515 per mile? Because
he just ran like a high 31 something.
10K?
Yeah.
So he's got to run basically that pace plus 10 seconds for 4 times the distance. It's not impossible. Like, ideally, I think like you want to be right around 30 minutes for 10K if you want to run 216 for a marathon. And that's like minimal speed transfer. There's probably an exception to this rule, but just generally speaking, if you can't run sub 5-minute pace for 6 miles, how are you going to run 5:15 pace for 20?
All right, dude. We're doing Gladiator. Which one? Is he going to make it or not?
Is he going to make it? If we're doing Gladiator, I mean, I don't want to be a hater, but like,
come on. Come on.
Probably.
He does. Oh.
Probably. Like, I'll be rooting for him. That's not in any way malicious. Like, hopefully he does it. Like, hopefully he proves me wrong. But I would say he's got an uphill battle. I think he'll find himself in the 220s, no problem. And with Truett, it's like it's a matter of like, he's big. He's got a lot of mass that's unnecessary for his goal. Like 140, 145, give or take. Yeah,
dude, he's still like 25 pounds heavier than you. And that matters so much. And
I'm a bigger marathoner. I'm like 5'11", 140s, give or take. I can swing on either side of 140 to 145 plus minus here or there, but yeah, extra 20 pounds of mass. And he's not tall, right?
No, I don't think he is, dude. I think he's built like a spark plug. He's a thicker guy. And I think if I had to guess, he's between 5'7" and 5'9".
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we don't, getting into BMI of an elite marathoner is a bit of a hairy subject, but I definitely think carrying around extra weight will probably inhibit maybe his capacity to do like the training he wants to do. I mean, it's just like, if I went out and ran all my mileage with 10 pounds extra on my back for this week, I'd probably feel a little worse than I do right now.
Yeah. So, what was I going to say? So this is something I'll mention to you just out of curiosity. I was just saying this the other week because it's a very interesting environment on the internet these days. Everyone's just saying they're going to go set a record in something. They're like, oh, I'm going for this. I'm going for that. It's very popular to talk about it. Unless you've really been in record position for something, I don't think people really understand the meaning of a record. Like, there's a personal record, and then there's like national records, then there's world records. Like, it's totally crazy. And to me, I said to people the other day, I was like, let's just say you ran that 206. Like, that's your PR.
207.02, just to be
207.02. I don't know why I thought you said 206, but 207.02. It's my belief from my highest ceiling that I've ever been in, I need another 300 plus hours of amazing training, healthy training, to then get another record, and like a good record. I'm not talking about like a second. I'm talking about like something that's notable, like
a jump.
Yes. Yeah. What would you say for yourself?
I don't really know. See, running is so unlinear and hard to like quantify. You just have to kind of have enough data that suggests, hey, like something is on the other side here. So when I ran 207 at Boston, first off, Boston's not an incredibly
good course.
And also the way you run a time can also dictate like how much you left on the table and how much you could maybe squeeze out of that. So I went through halfway because I was just racing. I just raced with the lead pack as long as I could. I went through halfway in 61 minutes and like 55 seconds or something. So that's sub 204 pace, which is way faster than 207. So for me, like the way I look at it is, okay, if I had run that race a little bit more even, because what we know about the marathon is if you throw a bunch of junk in your legs, you run super hard, you're going to fatigue and you're going to slow more than if you had run a little bit more evenly distributed effort throughout. So I look at it as like, what if I slowed down 30, 40 seconds from there, and could I hold on for 206 flat? Could I run sub 206? And so right now I'm training for the Chicago Marathon.
What's your goal?
205.36, the Canadian record, which would also be the North American record, which is
wait a second, that can't be true. Ryan Hall.
Well, see, that's the thing. Boston doesn't count as a record.
That's kind of lame. But I appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah, the official record for North America is 205.36 by Cam Levins, the guy I just raced this past weekend. I would love to lower that record. I will also be going head to head against Connor Mance, if you're familiar. He's kind of the American hope right now. He's great. And funny enough, we were teammates at BYU. We have a great, like, long-standing relationship. So I'm excited to like kind of go to battle with him. And there's a world where we both have a perfect day and it's successful on both ends. He gets his American record, I get my Canadian record, and we get to push each other in the process in Chicago, which is known to be a fast course.
Out of curiosity, what's with white dudes being so good at running all of a sudden?
I don't know if that's an all of a sudden thing. I just think,
well, come on. It used to be like the 50s through the 70s. Like you had people like Salazar, Frank Shorter. Like there were some really, really good white guys. And then they just disappeared for a while. And then I think like the 1500 meter in the Olympics for like the past like 10 Olympics was all non-white guys. And then all of a sudden you had Centrowitz, and then I don't know who won in between. And then you had
Jakob won in 2020, and then in 2024 you had Cole Hawker. So you went.
So that's 3 white guys. That's what I'm trying to say. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think the real answer there is that drug testing is getting better, and I think that there's been a lot of drug testing in a big push to get the sport clean, especially in East Africa, especially in Kenya. Really, I don't want to group East Africa into one thing, but if you follow the sport, and you follow the news, Kenya has been kind of getting popped left and right. So they were dominating a lot of the distance events for a very long time. Also, like, to take drugs out of the equation, I think another factor there is we went through a lull in like training philosophy, I think, where people were just kind of doing really, really weird, high intensity interval training, low volume training. And for some reason that just did not work and did not translate, but it was kind of birthed out of like the Seb Coe era, which was Sebastian Coe, the current World Athletics president. He did all of his stuff on like high intensity, and he did really well. So all these coaches after him kind of build their philosophy based on different successes. And now we're finally reaching this total flip of how people are training. And now we're seeing more volume in training, way more threshold specific training. I think it's just smarter training. And I think the sport is also growing. When I started running, just like I said, 15 years ago, running was kind of lame. Like nobody thought running was cool. Running is becoming cooler as time goes on. And I think that we're kind of seeing the push of like, it's no longer like lame to be a pro runner. And that probably helps more people want to do it. And like these guys that are crushing right now, they're younger. They're like Cole Hawker was 19 in 2020 when he went to the Olympics for the first time and got 6th. I think Jakob was 20 years old when he won his Olympic gold. Hawker's 23 when he won his. So I think these guys are just like really talented guys that are coming into the sport with a different perspective, different training background, and supremely talented. There's just a lot of good people out there. And don't get me wrong, like East Africans are still running. Their depth and their talent is still top notch, and they're certainly not going anywhere. They're not going anywhere. So,
but I just remember, dude, back in the day, like watching Ryan Hall race, they used to call him the Great White Hope, and it's just like it was often called that, and you're just like, shit, you're right. Like we got nobody, And now there's some depth to the field. Like, you guys are dangerous. You're competitive. And like, I listen, I'm pumped. I'm pumped.
Yeah,
I want to see you get the North American record. I want to see some really savage times.
Yeah, I think like everybody is like now just shooting a little bit higher. I think there was probably also like a moment there where everybody was looking at running as like very inside, like, oh, I want to be the top American. Well, the bar wasn't that high. And now these top Americans, they're not saying, oh, I want to be the top American. They're saying,
I want to win.
I want a podium at Boston. I want to win Boston. Like Connor Mance is a savage. And I think it's always the tip of the spear. Like guys like Galen Rupp were obviously really good not that long ago. And like when you see a guy like Galen medal at 2 Olympics, then the next generation, that's their goal. That's what they're putting out there. That's what they're thinking about. And so it's just kind of a cascade of events. I don't think it's going to change. Like, I think that you're going to see more and more North Americans, Europeans on podiums, just because when you see it and you're growing up in the sport, that's where you look, that's your relatability. And you can be like, I want to be like them.
Out of curiosity, how do you feel about NCAA's like 10 years ago when you were going through versus NCAA's now? Like, do you think that with what's going on with NIL that it's going to make better runners, or do you think it's going to make super teams? Like BYU, they've got that financial backing where if they want to really get those guys running, you might as well be an Olympic development team.
Yeah, I mean, the NCAA has long been the best developmental league in the sport of athletics, track and field and whatnot, just because there's been a ton of a pipeline of medalists from sprints to the long distance stuff. And it's consistent. Like NCAA champions go on to win medals more often than not. They don't always go on to win medals, but it happens a lot. Yep. And now with NIL, what I've seen, the biggest shift is now these teams aren't recruiting as much high school talent. They're more going like outside. They're like, there's a lot of transferring. There's a lot of getting international talent. Like, dude, you look at the 10K at NCAAs this year, it's a global event now. When I was in college, there were certainly Kenyans running in Division I. Like there was always a few really, really studly ones, but I think that that's grown quite a bit with the fact that these programs now are just basically like, well, let's try to win. Like the most efficient way to do it is to bring someone in here who's immediately going to contribute. And they are picking up like Kenyans that are looking at it as like, I get free school, free food, free, like some money probably. And they're paying these guys a pretty good lifestyle to come to America, train hard, do what they love. And I think like the top talent is choosing the NCAA. Like the guy that won the NCAA 10K, Ishmael Kipkurui from New Mexico, he made the Kenyan team this year. So he's in college and he's one of Kenya's best runners. I think he won the trials even. Like that would have been unthinkable when I was in college. Like the top team went straight pro.
How many of these guys do you think are actually of the age of a college student? Because do you remember like they were like recruiting people to the Dominican Republic for like high school teams when they were like 20-year-old men for like baseball and stuff?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think the age thing is getting whack. I think that they need to have like your clock starts on X day no matter what. Like I think I just saw there was eligibility. A 29-year-old freshman coming over, and there's definitely like age cheating or age fibbing.
Totally.
And I don't get all worked up about it. It's something that a lot of people care about, but it is like, I'm not going to be as impressed if you're 27 years old and you're beating up on 19, 18-year-olds. Like to me, that's just like, cause I'm 29. Like I'm way better than I was when I was 21. So,
but totally. But think about that. You're kind of like, in my mind, if you showed up to BYU right now, think about the kids you'd just be murdering in NCAAs. Like you've got so many years of professional running. You've got somebody who's barely got like any hair on their nugs coming out of high school, trying to get in there. And you're just like, yeah, man, I've traveled the world. I've been to the Olympics. I'm on your team and I'm going to murder you, take your spot and probably win NCAAs. Like that's tough to accept.
I mean, absolutely. And that's the approach some of these smaller Division I programs are going. They're like, let's just hire some guns and bring them in here and have them F shit up.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, it's a tough conversation to have, obviously, but like to me, when I see all this stuff, I'm like, I want to keep things a little bit more traditional. I want to give some people some opportunities. Like, let them grow up and actually figure out how to do this thing. And it will probably make the younger runners better because of the competition that's in there. But at the same time, you're
taking away
sniping.
Opportunities for sure. Like I wouldn't have been recruited nowadays because I wasn't that good in high school, but it was a different, like people looked at it as developing talent. Whereas now it's like, we need talent that's ready to compete. There's just less opportunities at big schools now and not only is NIL a thing, but like roster size restrictions are starting to be a real thing. So you're going to see, it's just going to be weird. I don't know where a guy like me is going to go nowadays. Like, is D2 the new option? Like, is it going to just start filtering down? I have no idea what's going to happen as far as the like people that are going to slip through the cracks because of the way the NCAA is gone.
You know what I always found really interesting? I never went through the NCAA program. I got in a lot of trouble when I was younger and just totally bypassed college because I didn't get recruited. And, I was a good high school runner, like a 16-something 5K guy for not giving a shit. And I got recruited by like D3, D2 schools. But what ended up happening was because I didn't get burnt out by the NCAA system, when I met a lot of kids in professional running that had just graduated, like, the kid from Alaska, they had just gone through so much intensity and so much hardship in that program that by the time they got into the professional world, they were kind of just burnt out. Like, you have to be very, very hardy to make it through the pro level when all of a sudden you don't have have coach holding you accountable. You got a trainer massaging you out and all these systems and like just resources to help you be a professional. Once you're out there and the own is like a big dog, like you being out there in Flagstaff and stuff, I don't even know if you're part of a team, but when you don't have resources, a lot of these guys crumbled and they were much more talented than me. But like having that big breath of just, I'm responsible for everything, it kind of crushed their spirits.
Well, for sure, college, they hold your hand. You have resources beyond belief because money's not an object, especially at a bigger school like any sort of I guess it's now Power 4 program. It used to be Power 5. Those programs, like, money doesn't exist. So they can have unlimited resources for massage, team doctors. Like it is like their facilities are gorgeous. It's really good. Yeah. And when you step out, when you go pro, you often take a step back in like resources. So that is absolutely true. But I think what makes pros or anyone good is like between the ears, not the structure around them, right? Like it's your discipline, it's your work ethic, it's your motivation, it's your talent, it's a number of things beyond like your resources. And it is a grind year in, year out to kind of stay in the sport, but you got to love it. You got to have the right mentality. And I mean, I'm getting to the age now where I'm seeing people drop like flies, like people that I've been running with for a long time, like they're on their way out. And it's honestly, it makes me really grateful that I'm still feeling like I'm improving and that I have years ahead of me. But it also makes you kind of like feel like you have to live in the here and now and stay super present because, there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees.
I'm the last of the Mohegans, dude. Like, all the guys I started with are gone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm just like standing here on the hill still, just like holding the flag up. I'm like, we got some left in the tank. And it's definitely different. Like, I guess that was one of the questions I was going to follow up on. It's like, what is your system now? Like, you're in Flagstaff. You probably got some homies. Like, you always hear about these like runners going out to Flagstaff. Jim Walmsley used to be out there. Like, there's just, Flagstaff's iconic. And obviously you got Northern Arizona University. Like, what are your resources? What's your team like? Like, do you have a coach or do you hold yourself entirely accountable for everything you do? Are you solo dolo?
So I have a team for sure. So like a team in many different ways. Like, I literally have a training group that I train with, but I also have, I have my running coach. I have a strength coach that I go see in person twice a week. I have a massage therapist that I see at least once a week. I have a physiotherapist, chiropractor. I have everything like that I used to have in college, but I had to create it on my own, like through community and through like connections. And I have to go out and seek it. Like, it's not going to like fall in my lap. And the good thing about Flagstaff is, though, there's no shortage of talent to lump into, like, and to train with. Like, it's easy to find people to run with or to work with. And it's a very friendly, open town. It's not super cliquey. This is going to be a shot fired at Boulder, but like
Boulder blows, dude.
cliquey.
I used to train there.
There's no community there. Flagstaff is all about like lifting each other up. Like I'll see people with different coaches, different event groups, and I'll go for a run with them. We might even work out together if it makes sense. There's no ego in it. There's just like, let's just all just like reach our goals together. And I don't feel like it's that way in Boulder at all. And Utah's kind of growing like a little bit of steam right now in the pro world. There's more solid pros going there and choosing Utah, and they are way more open. Like they're not closed-minded, but they don't intermingle too much across training groups. Whereas like if I have a workout and someone who has a different coach has a similar workout and we could help each other by like mixing in, that's totally on the table for us here. And it's just not for other communities out there in the pro world.
Yeah, I was going to ask. So like, let's just say you're going out there and you're going to go like do like 10 by 1 mile or something like that. I don't know what your workouts are. I'm making shit up. And like, you got another guy who's going to be going to do like, I don't know, 15 by 1,000. Like, what is the likelihood that you guys are going to somehow merge workouts and be like, hey, like, are you solo? Are you flexible? Like, is it more important for you to get the workout that you wrote on a piece of paper? Or is it more important for you to do work that's actually going to push you?
Yeah, that they're like, I've mixed in with people and changed my workout slightly to make it so I had people to work with. And it really just depends on what the objective is of the workout, right? Like if the objective is, hey, I want a barn burner, I want to push myself really hard, you're going to get more out of yourself with someone there next to you. And it also depends, like even in the pro world, there's a wide range of abilities, like from top to bottom, right? So I mean, not everybody can work out at this level or that level or do this type of workout with this type of athlete. So it's like finding like that mix, but there's a few people that I mix in more often than others, just because A, we get along well, B, we're at a similar level, or it just works really well. Yeah. So, or our coaches are good enough friends, or like ego aside can like be like, hey, this is mutually beneficial. So there's a few like you got to check a few boxes before you get to the like, oh, let's mix in together. Yeah. Usually someone has to compromise somewhere, either on like what they wanted to do or whatnot, or a pace or something. But at the end of the day, if it works out, it's always really fun. And it's always like, those are the big ones. Like I did one here in Flagstaff right before Boston, like my last super hard session. I just jumped in with a guy named Tabello that's from Lesotho that trains out here. He got 6th at the Olympics, and he was way better than me. And I was like, well, I'll just jump in your workout, see what happens. And it was the best workout of my life. And it gave me all the confidence I needed going into the big race. And I ended up beating Tabello in Boston. So I was like, oh, that's crazy. Like that guy I thought was untouchable to me, because he looked really good. A, in the workout we did together, B, in like the Olympics, like that guy was an animal, and he is an animal. So, but because our coaches both didn't have egos about it, we were able to mix in together and get the most out of each other on that day. And I think it served us both really well.
So let's talk about some of the core bricks of your training. Like, how many miles average you hit in a week to be like a freak? And was there like a point where you're like, yeah, I used to run 80 miles, but then all of a sudden I bumped up to 120 and it was just like, I'm a totally different level?
No, it was incremental. So when I got to BYU, I went up to like freshman year, I was running 70 miles a week. Sophomore year, I was running 80, junior 90, senior 100, fifth year, because I did 5 years, 110. And then when I went pro, I kind of sat in this like 100 to 110 range for a couple of years. Yeah. And I found like I kind of plateaued a little bit, but I was also in a weird situation right out of college. I joined a pro team out here. Just wasn't the right vibe for me. That's when I left that team and joined Ryan Hall as my coach for a few years. And he kind of pushed me again to another level, not so much in volume as it was as intensity and the type of workouts we were doing. But I was kind of sitting in this like 110 to 120 range for a few years. And I just started touching like the 130s now. That's like kind of my new sweet spot for marathon training. And I just kind of started doing that. So we don't have a ton of data, but like the Boston build, I did more mileage than I'd ever done. And I did make a big improvement.
How many hours a week is that? Like with the focus? This is my battle axe, by the way.
14 to 15 hours, depending on like the
Of
type of
running purely?
Just purely running, 14, 15 hours.
Fuck. And like, what's the average mile across that? Like 630s?
No, I mean, like average easy running is probably like 7 to 720. Like I don't push my easy runs super hard, but like anytime I'm running fast or intense, I'm running probably 5-minute pace or faster on average,
Yeah.
usually under 5-minute pace for fast workouts. So, at the end of the week, it probably works out to somewhere like 630 to 645 average, just because you have the fast miles kind of pulling down that average.
So have you like fallen into the whole double threshold thing? Because I feel like we were all doing double threshold workouts, and now it's just really become popular in that title. Or is this like what's your method? Like, how are you dispersing most of the intensity? Like,
I started doing double threshold just last year, a year ago, exactly. Right after the Olympics, Ryan Hall, my coach, up until the Olympics, he retired from coaching. Other than his wife, he still coaches his wife. And I joined a new coach here in town, John Green. Awesome guy. He does double threshold. That's one of his like core principles. So I've been doing it for a year now, and I do believe it's not a magic elixir, but I think it helps in a few ways. One, I think you can do more just because it makes like a lot of work really, really palatable, really easy, right? Like,
yeah,
so you can do
it's
more.
hard, dude. That last 10% of effort is just
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
yeah.
Under Ryan, I would do workouts that were like 15 by mile. I did that under Ryan before. And it was like, holy shit, that was the hardest workout of my entire life. Like, but it was awesome. It was great. And under John, my new coach, I'll do 8 by mile in the morning, 7 by mile in the evening. Same exact amount of work. It's easy though. It's literally the exact same amount of work, just way easier to break it into 2 sessions. And then I'm more recovered 2 days later to hit it hard again.
Yeah. So what would be your intensity there? And I'm talking about like, are you doing it via heart rate or pace?
Both, all the things I do. I take blood lactate, I take heart rate, I take pace. Pace always trumps the other readings because at the end of the day, I'm trying to
Can't
train
make it if
for,
you can't. Yeah.
yeah, I'm trying to train for a pace. I'm trying to get better at running certain paces so that I can do it in a race. I do live at 7,000 feet above sea level. So it's like pace is kind of, you kind of have to tweak that expectation of pace up here versus when you drop down to sea level. But
Yeah.
I know my heart rate efforts in certain races. So I can kind of go like, okay, if I'm trying to run marathon effort, my heart rate should be like between 160, 165 max.
And what's your max? Just so everyone can understand. Like if you were going to go out and just blast a 5K, like what would you hit? 190?
I don't, mine doesn't climb that much, honestly. Like I don't know. I think the highest I've ever recorded on my heart rate monitor is like upper 170s.
Wow. So are you at 90% effort when you're doing these things, or does it not feel like 90% effort?
It doesn't feel like that. I just, for some reason, I can't hit the 180s. Like I'll do like VO2 max high intensity intervals and I don't hit 180s. It just doesn't happen for me like that.
Have you ever done a VO2 max?
Like a test?
Yeah.
No.
You've never done a VO2 max?
No.
I kind of fucking hate it. I mean, like it's like one of these kind of things where you hear about somebody who's got like, I used to race against guys with a bunch of 80s and I just blow them out of the water. And I was like a 69 to a 71. And then all of a sudden you're just like, God dang it, man. And like, I've won world titles where like, I was like not as tuned up and I was like a 58, which like was low.
Yeah.
And it's like weird.
I think it's kind of useless to know your VO2 max because again, it's not going to change how you race. It's not going to change how you train.
It's
65. It's a cool, sexy number. I mentioned earlier, I coach a lot of people and I'll have people that, you know how your watch will tell you your VO2 max? Like,
oh yeah,
it's using an algorithm. I'll get like a text from someone and they'll be like, dude, my VO2 max just dropped two points because they're tapering for a race. And I'm like, that is not how it works, man. Do not look at that shit.
Well, what about the Strava fitness score?
Terrible.
Really?
Terrible algorithm. Mine does not correlate to what fitness I'm actually in at all. So I've been on Strava for 7 or 8 years now. Like I'm an early Strava adopter.
Oh yeah, dude. I've been around.
Yeah, and I have all this data, every run I've ever done uploaded on Strava, nothing hidden.
It's
All
my
there.
Bible.
Yes, I live by Strava. I if it ain't on Strava, it didn't happen, right?
Yeah, get the fuck out of here.
And my fitness score kind of like doesn't reflect at all what I feel in my fitness. So I don't trust them. Algorithms are broken, man.
Dude, I used to, do you wear a Whoop?
No, I wear a Koros armband for like in workout, and then I don't do anything outside of workout for like data recording. I just kind of I had a Whoop, but I don't know how much the information was beneficial to my ultimate goal.
It's fucking hogwash. Like I'd wear it and it's like, you're dying. You should sleep. Like you're nothing. And I was like, dude, get fucked. Like I'm about to, like some of my best workouts were like some of my worst heart rate variability. I'm like, you know what? I think everybody who becomes an athlete after a while, like you have these pillars that are really your pillars. I really sleep 6 or 7 hours a night. I've always been me, 20-minute naps a day. Other people like my buddy Joseph Newgarden, 2-time IndyCar 500 champion, race car driver, freak athlete overall. Dude needs to sleep 9 or 10 hours a night. Like there's what I call lab science and field science. And like sometimes in the field, it just doesn't stick.
Yep.
Yeah. It's just,
I used to care a lot about all the very, very measurable stuff that went into recovery or whatnot. Like, oh, did I get my 8 or 9 hours of sleep? And obviously I still try to keep a very good routine, try to be super consistent. I treat my body well. I don't just disregard sleep in this bucket, but I also don't sweat like 30 minutes to an hour of sleep differential. It's more about the habits you form and this lifestyle you're creating.
Yeah.
I'm a very like, for a professional runner, professional runners are very neurotic, and I'm sure
Too much.
I would be neurotic by most people's measures, but like I like to kind of take the edge off that stuff and not worry too much about the little things. Don't sweat the details, you know, like the devil's in the details, you know. I'm trying to just do all the major things well, like do the training, eat the food, rest, repeat. Like that's it.
Okay, so like let's go into food. Like, are you like, dude, I gotta get the numbers? Or are you just like, I eat really
Intuitive only?
Okay, but like, okay, intuitively, do you eat a shit ton of food, or are you one of these kind of guys? Oh, so you do?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like I will be around other runners and they can't believe how much food I'm eating. They can't believe it.
Yeah.
On a regular basis, the amount of food I consume, I think is out of this world. Just I'm a grazer, right? Like I never go 2 hours without eating a meal. Like I'm basically like, oh, I got to eat a meal. I got to eat a meal. I got to eat a meal. I think it's honestly one of my superpowers for marathon training, because marathon training is so much about fatigue resistance. It's about like being able to do consistently good work day after day after day after day, stack it. And a lot of people fail because they get to this caloric deficit. They plummet, and then they have to dig themselves out of that hole, or they overcook themselves. And
I just a couple of years ago, it was bad.
I'd rather be a little fat and not be overtrained and not be cooked than be like super lean and risk cooking myself. So I'm a big proponent in like, when in doubt, eat it out. You know, go crazy.
Yeah. What's like your favorite meal? You got anything you're just like, God, I gotta have this when there's a big session coming up?
Chicken and rice, man. Anything with chicken.
Yeah,
rice.
Dude.
Bowls.
Just the bro down, dude. Chicken and rice is the staple. It is the pillar of all greatness. I mean, I have so many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, glasses of milk, and like cottage cheese and honey.
That's sugar. It's carbs. It's when you're trying to just get to the next thing. Simple is everything. Like keep it simple, stupid is like one of my mantras of training, is just keep it simple. It is as simple as it gets. You train more, you eat more, you recover faster, you're better. You're gonna keep stacking bricks, and that's what the name of the game is, right? Like I feel like capacity for training is as important as anything else, and this is a big component of capacity is how much energy you can have and how much and energy comes from food. Like we are nothing but like vessels that need fuel. So
100% logs on the fire.
yeah.
So, I mean, how do you feel about this whole like industry? Like, do you ever run into this because you have relationships with Puma and all these other partnerships? Like, do you run into this capacity where you're just with a bunch of influencers ever, or just encountering influencers online and just seeing the information they're putting out there and be like, God damn it, man, you guys are ruining this for the world. Like, being a coach, you probably have so many people come in that are like, I just saw this video online and I think I got to do this. Like, how do you deal with those relationships when they come up?
Yeah. I mean, I don't get caught up and get annoyed or get worked up about what I see online for the most part. I do think I see things and I go, that's wrong. That's ridiculous. And these people have big followings and people are probably taking it. Like the one thing that if we just want to just hit like the play the hits right now,
Yeah.
like this obsession with zone training, like, I'm
Yeah.
zone 2 or zone 1, whatever. I don't even know what zone people are talking about. Like,
Yeah.
but people ask me like, oh, like how much do you dictate your training based on your heart rate? I take the data, but I'm not out there running and going, oh shit, like my heart rate just hit this. I got to slow down. It's all feel. It's all learning how to feel everything. It's an art and a science, but I think the art is what you should really work your way into and like really feel it. It's so intuitive. It's instinctual how you move out there and how you recover and everything. So I naturally have really low heart rate, like I was saying with like what I'm doing in training, like 160s for a marathon, and I've never seen 180 on my watch or whatnot.
Really?
I'll go on an easy run, 7-minute pace, say up here, and I'll average like 115 to 120 heart rate. And people would be like, oh, that's amazing. Like goals, like zone 1. I'm like, dude, I'm not trying to run in zone 1. I'm just running. Like,
Yeah. And how long would that run last, by the way? If you're going to hold 7-minute pace, are you out there for like 15 plus miles?
It depends on the day. So I try to run roughly 2 to 2.5 hours a day. That's the sweet spot. So, and some days are going to be higher. Some days,
And you'll add it up however you want. You might just do 90 minutes and then 60 minutes later, you might do 2 hours and 30 minutes in the afternoon.
Yeah. So my coach lets me govern the easy days pretty on my own. And some days I'll intentionally run a little less, freshen up, or some days I'll stack fatigue because I think that's the intuitive thing. Again, this is all just like, I'm basically making it up as I go.
You're like a Jedi.
I'm listening to my body. So like I ran 10-mile tempo this morning with a 3-mile warm up, 3-mile cool down. I think I had just over 90 minutes of running on the morning total.
And what was the pace, by the way?
For the 10-mile, it was like just at 5 flat. It was progressive. So I started at like 5:10, worked down to like 4:50. And warm up cool down was like 7:30 pace, easy miles. And
out of curiosity, I want to get into the weeds of this just so people can understand.
Yeah.
When you're at that pace, are you just like, okay, I'm holding it? Or are you like, are you pretty dialed up against the line there?
It's riding a line, but it's also, it's really, really easy until it isn't. That's kind of how I view marathon zone. Is it should feel easy for a long time, but eventually it won't. Eventually you're going to have to increase your effort to maintain your pace.
And I'm going to show you something.
That's the whole thing.
Today, I just am starting out like week 1 of getting back to speed training. And like speed training, I decided to go for a 30-minute tempo test at like 160 beats, just under 160 beats per minute.
Okay.
So like that to me is like, I could hold that for an hour and a half, no problem.
Okay.
And I went out and, some of these miles are not clicked off evenly, but it was basically around like a 5:45 to 5:35 average. And like I was there and I was kind of just saying to the team, they were filming alongside of me. I was like, guys, this feels so easy. Like, do you want to be in that zone when you're running there? Or do you feel like when you're like in that tempo, you're like, I need to be like more than mildly challenged. I need to be challenged for adaptations. Are you trying to get a lot of miles in this zone where you're like, I can keep on going. And you want to walk away from your workout being like, that really wasn't bad at all? Or do you want to walk away from your workout like, that was challenging, but I accomplished it. And I know that next week I'm going to add more to it. Like, where is because you sound very intuitive. Like, where are you with that?
It sounds like you want, like, to me, I would think like you want to flirt with death, but never go all the way. You know what I mean? You don't want to ever don't ever experience it, but you want to test it. And there's times and places in training where you want to go further into the deep end than you would other times. And it's just strategic placements of efforts. Because if you go over that edge more often than you should, the consequences are you end up actually not adapting and not gaining the fitness. So like this morning, I said I did a 10-mile tempo. That tempo was written as 10 to 12 miles, and I wanted 12. But I got to like mile 9, and I was like, I could go 12 today. I could absolutely make it to 12.
Yeah.
But it's going to be over the effort zone that I know that we're intending to go to today. Like we're going to be digging holes today.
You're 7 weeks out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So out of curiosity, like, okay, my first championship that I'm competing in is going to be December 13th. Let's just say now you backdate that. So we have August, September to October to November to December. We have 16 weeks.
Yeah.
So for you, like, when do you now all of a sudden want to make sure that you're stepping up to that 12 mile and pushing harder? Like, because you're already 7 weeks out. Would had to have been like 16 weeks out where you're starting to push hard and you're starting to pull back now? Or do you want the harder workouts closer to the race?
This is the hardest phase of my training. And but with that in mind,
you just had a stellar race too. Like that was a lot. And that was a week ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So I focus on density over intensity sometimes. So like what I mean by that is like contextually 10-mile tempo on its own. That's a good workout. It's a hard workout, whatever. But like yesterday I did an uphill threshold run to fatigue myself going into it. So you
wanted to be pre-fatigued for today's workout.
Yes. I didn't want to go into it freshened up. So I raced Sunday, did a double threshold workout Tuesday, flew back from Canada to here Wednesday, ran up a mountain Thursday as a workout, and then did a workout Friday. Tomorrow's easy, Sunday long. So like when you look at it like in a big picture, you can't take one of those workouts and be like, oh, like I'm 7 weeks out. Like this 10-mile tempo needs to be this. Yeah. Instead, I look at it as like, let's look macro and be like, I got in so much good quality work in 7 days. That's what's more important to me than what I see on like my Strava in one activity.
But that's a pretty bold week. I'm not going to lie. And I think a lot of people get confused, like who are watching this show. They're all these High Rocks athletes. And they're like, yeah, I'm doing all this shit. Like you're doing probably more intense mileage in 1 week than they do in 4 weeks. Obviously you're a marathoner, which is totally different, but like that's some beefy shit right there, dude. Like, I mean, how much distance did you do on the mountain and how much elevation did you gain?
So it's a 6.5 mile climb and you climb about 2,000 feet. You start at 7,000, end at 9.
Yeah, dude. So like 300 plus feet per mile at what pace?
I averaged 619.
That's a bitch of a workout.
It was a good one. So I've done that workout like 10 or so times. This is an old Ryan Hall staple. He loved this workout, like run up the mountain, basically. He did it like crazy back in his heyday. And I ran a 90-second personal best on that mountain run yesterday. Like, just like I had a good day. I just had a day where I was like, okay, that just happened really easy for me.
So out of curiosity, like you're not really buying into this, like need 72 hours to recover. Like you gave yourself 24 hours and like, you know, the whole thing, it's like you need this many days down for every mile that you raced hard. Like you raced 13 miles hard and a week later you're doing double back-to-back hard workouts at altitude.
Yeah, that's just again, willingly taking risks and knowing I'm 7 weeks out. Like that's why you said, like, when should I start pushing? Right now I'm at peak. The goal for me is to find the line and ride it for like 5 weeks and then start to taper. So from here till 3 weeks out from Chicago, I'm basically riding this line, and then I'll start to come down 3 weeks out, just like 10%. And then I'll come down 20% the next week, and then I'll freshen up for the race. But these next 5 weeks, the goal is to do as much as physically possible in a dense period of time, with the hope that I can force myself to adapt to the training load. It's fun. We're kind of doing experimental stuff. Like I've never done Snow Bowl, that's the name of the mountain, the day before a workout to see. Like, in some ways we're trying things that we've never tried before, but also we've done similar things. So it's not like it's just random shit. It's thought out. And the reason why we do an uphill is there's no pounding running uphill, right? Like it's like very low level pounding. So it's easier to recover from an uphill tempo than it would be.
Does somebody pick you up at the top then?
Yes, drove me down.
Yeah, I like that. Dude, so tell us about like the elite marathoning world. I guess I have some curiosities there. Like you said, there's a lot of soft-spoken runners. Like they're very, I think they're a little bit timid in their voice and very like, hard in their actions. But what's it like going into a marathon? Like, do you have an arch nemesis? Like, is everyone cool out there? Like you guys are in packs for such a long period of time. Like it'd be hard to hold anger against somebody for 2 hours plus shoulder to shoulder.
I think everybody's pretty good. Like there's not too many bad people on the circuit. Like most people are very likable and easy to get along with. There's certainly people that you have like, I don't want to lose to this guy, or I really want to beat that guy. There's definitely
give me a name.
All right, I'll give you a name. Well, Clayton and Connor Mance, Clayton Young. Like those are my guys that I have history with them, and I have been on their level before. They vaulted above me. I want to be with them. Like I look at them and I go, okay, if they're doing this, I can do that too, because I literally was teammates with them for years. So I know they're human just like I am. And I look at that as kind of like my goal, my target. So I definitely have people that I want to beat. I want to beat Americans. Like I know that's pretty like you're a proud American, but as a Canadian, I feel like my general goal is to beat the Americans.
All right, cool. I guess we know where you stand there. All right. You've shared your voice and voiced your opinion. Okay, but like, have you ever heard of the Iron War? Dave Scott versus Mark Allen. It was a very, very famous race after like they'd raced against each other for like 6 years straight at the Ironman World Championships, and this was the year that Dave Scott didn't win and Mark Allen did win, and they basically raced shoulder to shoulder until like 1 mile out, silently, like trying to kill each other. Like, do you have somebody like you said, kind of Connor Mance, but like, how often do you get the chance to really just go shoulder to shoulder with that guy and just like try to break his spirit?
Well, Connor Mance has owned me for the better part of the last couple of years, so I need to step up my game. But Cam Levins would have been like the closest thing I have to that right now, because he's my fellow Canadian and I just raced him this past weekend. And we literally ran shoulder to shoulder like that the entire race till the final 50 meters. You saw that reel, I'm sure, that I posted a couple days ago, where we were just legitimately in lockstep till 100 meters to go. And we were throwing punches. It wasn't like we were just like holding hands and waiting. It was trying to win the race, and it just neither one would give an inch until it was right up to the line. So
how often do you guys kind of get in the elbows with each other? Like it's not super intentional, but you're also like, you ever kind of, when you're running right next to each other and someone inches far ahead, how often do you try to get in front of them at all or box out? Or do you just do the traditional shoulder to shoulder until someone breaks?
This time we were shoulder to shoulder, and it felt like the purest way to do it, man. It was like, it was such a like cool way to do battle and just kind of measure each other, because you're not giving no one person's giving an advantage to the other. You're just seeing who's gonna have the last laugh or the final blow. And there's a saying in running, he who kicks last kicks best. And it's just, we were kind of like measuring each other, but also waiting, I think, on each other. And
what was your last mile?
Oh gosh, since it's 13.1, I the 0.1 gets muddy, but I know our final K of the race was 2:41, and our 12 to 13 was 4:38, and our final 400 was somewhere like 60 seconds.
Oh,
so I mean, if you extrapolate that, it was probably in the like mid 420s, just because if you take off the final, that 200 meters of running after 21K or that like 0.1, tack that on, take off the, it's probably in the 420s, 430 low, 420 high.
And how much is your body screaming right there?
I was I was battling like the urge to throw up the whole last mile. Like I was like, because I was just squeezing, you know what I mean? Like you're just kind of squeezing.
Yeah.
I was like, I just breathing through my stomach. And when I realized it was going to be a kicker's race, I was like, you just need to like hold this together as long as you can. Like I tried to relax actually in that minute. I was like, let's try to chill out as much as we can. And then once it was like home free, like I can empty the tank and just go. That's when the racing got like insane. Like we were hip to ear full sprinting, like that Rocky Apollo Creed beach scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah. How much of your work is done on the track?
One session a week, usually. Like one key session a week is probably the average.
What does that look like?
Different based on the week. Sometimes, like I try to do speed throughout my marathon
Like
block.
400s, 800s? Are you even
yeah,
lower?
like my coach seems to be really in love with like K repeats, like doing hard Ks. So that's pretty common, but anywhere from a mile down to 400 fast intervals of that stuff at like 10K, 5K pace. That's kind of the main thing.
Well, it takes the first like 30 seconds to even get your heart rate up. So that K, especially at your level, is necessary because you're not getting a great enough workout in 800. And like you're probably getting 2 minutes of real work on that 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, more or less. I think my favorite interval length is 1,000 meters, just because I feel like it's long enough that you can't hide from it, but short enough that you can really attack it.
Yeah. And how many intervals are you doing on a session like that?
Depends on the pace range, but our favorite is like 8 to 10 super hard ones, like ripping, like running like 10K down to 5K pace.
Whoo! And what's the rest?
Growing. So you start with 90 seconds and you increase it by like 15 seconds every other rep. So you go 90, 145, 2 minutes, 215, 230, give or take.
Yeah. So you can keep the quality, but the intensity is still there.
Yep. And you're increasing the intensity as it goes usually. Like you try to like get a little quicker every couple as well. So
fucking nasty, dude. So tell me about some of the goals, dude. Like what's the thing? Like we're going to get Connor. Like what do we do in Chicago? We're setting that record. And then there's got to be something where it's like secretly, but you can tell a big hoot. Like I want to be on the podium at the Olympics in 2028.
I mean, that's it.
Walk away.
You said it.
Well, some people don't have the fucking courage to say that, dude.
Oh, like, I mean, that is absolutely the goal. And, not so much as it is like I could say I want to be on the podium, but I can't guarantee that I'm going to be on the podium. But what I can try to do and what I will try to do and what I'm hell bent on doing is I was in this last Olympics and I was in no way in the race. Like I wasn't a part of the contending race up front. And I left the Olympics like kind of pissed off because that felt like you dream your whole life. Oh, I want to be an Olympian. And then you leave kind of empty-handed. Yeah, I was a participant. And it just didn't reach, it didn't fill my cup. It didn't do what I kind of dreamt up it would do for me. So in 2028, I want to be in the race. Like if I get first, second, third, seventh, it does not matter. I want to be there competing and be a part of the action when it's happening. So in the marathon, that could look like a number of things, but I basically want to go into it and say, I'm running this race and I'm going with every move and I'm going to fall on my sword and I'm going to be good enough to do it for a very long time.
Yeah. So tell me what that feels like when that first pack goes out and you know that they're better than you. But you, much like you said, you beat somebody in Chicago that you trained with who was technically better than you. In Boston. But like you go out there and they're better than you. Are you feeling the pain right away? Or are you just knowing eventually it's going to come?
Yeah, I think that's shifted throughout my career. Like Boston was the first eye-opening experience. It's like, oh man, I think I can do this. Like I can taste it. I can taste that I can run with these guys. And the first 5 miles of Boston were like 439, 438, 439, 440. Like we were ripping. And I was like, I'm going to die if we keep doing this. Like I will die. But I also knew to compete with these guys, I had to go with the moves. I had to do it. So luckily for me, they
So where are
eventually,
you in that pack though? Okay, let's just say
just trying to stay in it. Just stay in it.
stay in it. You don't want to be up in the top 3 guys. You want to be like back right shoulder, back left shoulder.
Yeah. So early, I was very back. I just literally was like, stay connected, stay connected. But when they slowed down, I was like, oh, now I feel good. Like we started running 450 miles, and I was like, I can now breathe again.
Yeah.
I was talking about heart rate earlier. I had never recorded a higher heart rate in a marathon than I did in Boston, and I did it in like the first 5 miles because we just went out and got after it immediately.
It
And then
seems like the Africans do that a lot though. Like if I like the Golden Trail series a lot, you ever follow that?
Yep.
Like those guys love to just go out and crack on people, just fucking just kill, settle.
You eliminate people based on how badly they want it and how tough they really are. Because I think when you start fast and you make people question, like they have to answer the questions that they're going to have immediately. It's like, how badly do you actually want to be in this group? How badly do you want to contend with these people? And are you willing to like risk it all to be there? So
my advisors try to tell me to slow down all the time because I love to come out and kill. Like I like to stick a knife in your ribs right away and see if you can pull it out and hang on. Because I have so much more force than the other racers. I come out fast and I get to the skier. I can ski faster than all of them. I can push faster than all of them. Like I've got so much horsepower. I can take it hard in the beginning. But a lot of people keep on trying to tell me, they're like, dude, you break your world record by so much if you could learn to control yourself a little bit. Because I come out swinging hard, and then I love that. Like I love just watching these boys break. And then all of a sudden, the ones that want to ride with me get up in the business. And then the rest of them, you never even see them after station 2.
Yeah, I mean, I'm much more of like a sit and kick guy, but I'm learning how to be like an aggressive runner. That's a skill set I'm growing into. In college and in my younger years, I loved a slow race where it would just come down to a kick. Like that was my comfort zone because I always trusted my finishing speed. That's something that's come naturally to me. For a marathoner, I like to sprint. I like to run fast. It's definitely in my wheelhouse. So I'm just learning now in my 6th year of being a professional marathoner how to run hard and not freak out and not panic and stay cool, stay calm, stay collected, and understand that like it's a long race. So
remember that fucking hill, brother.
Yeah.
Out of curiosity, like, what's it? What's the number? Like, what do you say right now? You got to be honest with yourself. Like, are you going to break 205? Are you going to hit 203? Like, what do you got? Like, what's your like, okay, this is it. Like, I know where I can get in high rocks and I have an exact number. And I know that's my potential and I can keep on working towards it. But like, where do you say that's my number and I have that potential?
I mean, I know I can run 205, but anything beyond 205 I'd need more data. Like I don't have enough data to suggest I can run any faster than that. So something would have to change. I know I can survive going out faster than 205 pace because I've done it now, but it's going to take training data and like intuition in the race and in the training sessions to kind of reflect and be like, okay, where am I actually at? Because in order to do something like run a 2-minute personal best and 90-second personal best, whatever it's going to end up being in Chicago, I'm going to have to go somewhere I've never gone before. And so therefore I'm going to have to acknowledge that there's some variables that I don't exactly know how
you got to run 445s. You got to run 445s, 443s.
Yeah, I can't be afraid of anything in the 440s. I basically have to be locked in that zone for as long as I can and survive rough patches. There's undoubtedly going to be moments of absolute panic and where your body's going to be like, you can't do this for 10 more miles or something. But
for listeners, sorry, go ahead. For listeners, we're catching each other wrong, but I got to get this off my chest. For listeners, if you had to pick products, data, or partners, what is going to get you there?
For me personally?
Yes.
Partners for sure.
Yeah, just like some gritty dangerous motherfuckers? Like people running next to you or a dude on a bike telling you to kick fucking harder? Or do you need somebody in sneakers duking it out with you?
I need to compete. Like I get the most out of myself in competition. So to me, it's going to be running with Connor Mance, running with whoever else is in that pack. I don't know who's going to be there. I know Connor Mance is going to be there, but it's going to
Fucking
be
damn it.
it's going to be having the person, like the carrot in front of you and the people that you want to be with. And it's going to be a battle of how long can I go? Can I go another mile? When it gets hard, it's going to be, can I stay here for one more mile? Can I stay here for one more mile? And it's going to be making deals with myself all the way up until you literally can see the finish line. That's how marathons go for me, is you don't know if you're going to make it until you physically can see it. And you're like, oh my gosh, there it is. We're going to get there.
Yeah, dude. I definitely need, I need some harder people. I'm the hardest man in the room. And I've had a good career being a hard guy, but I need some people to do some breakthroughs. And I'm glad you said that because I've been thinking about it so much. Like I have a very hard time finding people that want to run and just kill themselves. Like they'll show up, they'll do 75% of the intervals, or maybe they'll survive all of them. But then what are we going to do tomorrow? What are we going to do tomorrow? I have people fly in from all over the world, and it's just hard. Like, do I have to move to Flagstaff? Like, what do I got to do?
I mean, I don't know what the LA training scene is like for you, and I don't even know your industry well enough to know, but sometimes doing it alone gives you a little extra edge. Like I train with people, like I was telling you, I train with people, but I also do a fair bit solo. Like at the end of the day, there's not that many people that can do what I'm trying to do. Like if it was easy, everyone would do it, right? Like, so if you're going to do something extraordinary, you're going to find yourself pretty lonely at certain points. That's absolutely an undeniable truth. Is, it's lonely at the top or whatnot. Like you can have people in your corner, you can have people by your side, but if you want to go somewhere that very few people have gone, you're going to have to do it at some point. You're going to have to do it alone. So I think it's not so much about like finding the other person that's going to be just as tough or just as hard as you. It's more like finding the hardest version of yourself and conquering those demons from within.
Yeah. My favorite quote is from Hunter S. Thompson. You will not find reasonable men on top of tall mountains. Now that can be a metaphor or it can be a physical mountain. I live on top of a tall mountain, but it's so hard to find people that are up on these very rare places, these peaks. You get up there, the likelihood is you're going to be alone. You might have some people join you halfway up, but then that, especially the closer you get to the top, thinner and thinner.
Yeah.
Thinner and thinner. Well, dude, I've had an amazing time. Like, you're a fun interview. You're just a great talker. You've got great insight. And I really do love the flow-based style you have behind things. Like, you don't seem like this. I don't feel like you're somebody I can punch holes in easily. Like, there's people who I run with that I know that if I maybe took their watch away from them, or they didn't have the right weather, or didn't have the right interval or the perfect workout, they'd crumble. But you just sound like a dude that wants to be tossed in the deep end of the pool and start kicking.
I appreciate that. I definitely try to live by those like core tenets and be the person that I think I preach about being. But, at the end of the day, we're all just doing our best. We're all just trying to figure it out. So it's definitely we all have good days, we all have bad days, but I'm trying to be the version of myself that I think I need to be in order to get where I'm trying to go. So that's just what I'm doing.
It seems like you got the guts, man. I've traveled around the world, competed with a lot of people, but you can hear it in your voice. It's very steadfast. It's not like, I would like to. It's like, no, I'm doing this. That's what I want. When I asked the question, like, who are you going against? You told me immediately. Some people are like, oh, I'm not like that. I mean, the people that are at the top are like that. They may not be as out front about it, but I guarantee everybody ahead of you says that they're going to crush you before they even get there. And they've said it out loud to somebody, especially to themselves. And you have to have that kind of courage. Otherwise, if you can't say it, you can't do it.
Yeah. And I had to grow into that. I used to be a little bit more timid about all this stuff. Like I always would tell my close personal friends or whatnot, my goals, but it's been the last couple of years that I've kind of grown into the confidence. Like I can wear my goals, out loud and publicly, and it doesn't freak me out. And I think that's just maturing a little bit, right? Like before you'd be like, well, if I say I want to do this and then I fail, like everyone's going to think I'm an idiot. It's like, no, dude, nobody cares. At the end of the day, you're the only one that cares. And so if you can't, you're going to care the most. So you got to put it out there, and you can't be afraid of your own goals. Cause if you're not willing to speak it, then that means doubt's probably winning inside.
Yeah, dude, maybe a suggestion. I know you're already absolutely amazing, but you should draw the Olympic circles and then put top 3 and just tape it on the front of your door on the backside. So when you open up that door to go, you know exactly what you're setting yourself up for.
Yeah, man, it's going to come soon. 3 years from now, it does not, it'll sneak up on you for sure. It seems like 4 years apart is a long time, but it's not.
Dude, months fly by. Well, dude, let's make Puma the most dangerous running shoe on the planet. I mean, I love wearing my Pumas, dude.
They're on their way.
Well, dude, strap those R3s on, do some damage, man. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Everybody who tuned in, thanks, guys. Rory, is there anything you want to put out there? Anything you want to connect with? Anything you want to shout out?
I mean, if you like what you heard here, I would just say check out my YouTube. I've been putting a lot of money, time, effort into that, and I feel like it's telling my story in a really fun way. And long form media is always going to be more authentic than Instagram or whatnot. And obviously we spoke a little bit about Strava, but if you want to see my training, I'm wide open. I share everything and I don't hide anything, no details, no nothing. So
you were intimidated by those 5:35 miles I showed you.
Yeah. If people want to find me, I'm there. You know, I'm on Instagram, I'm on everything. So and I try to respond to people, you know what I mean? Like you reached out to me randomly last week. You're just like, what's up, dude? And like, I'm never going to be afraid to respond to someone. So if you got something to say, I'm all here for it. So.
Well, dude, we're in your fucking corner. Let's get it done. Everybody, thanks for tuning in. Biceps and Races. I'll catch y'all soon.